Very pleased to welcome Mr. Klaas from Neste on today's very special day, the A380 demonstration flight, SAF flight of Emirates Airline, live from Dubai International Airport. SAF is a big word. It has been for some time. Emirates Airline, as the world's basically leader, is very keen to progress on this for different reasons, for the environment, for all that. In terms of supply, that's the biggest question. What are you ready and what's your plan for securing continuous and progressive supply of SAF to Emirates and other airlines in the Middle East?
So, Neste is a global company. We have global production facilities, 3 facilities: Singapore, Rotterdam, and Porvoo, which is in Finland. We will be ramping up our production capabilities. By the end of next year, we will be producing 1.5 million tons of SAF, scaling up to 2.2 million tons in 2026. We will be supplying Emirates, as any other airline, via those refineries.
Are you planning to have one refinery in the Middle East, in the UAE in particular?
You have to understand that building a refinery is a very costly matter, and it is also from a cost perspective, but also for the cost of SAF perspective, it makes a lot more sense to have those production capabilities in a number of limited locations. So to your answer, I cannot answer it now. We don't know what the future holds. But what is important, I think, to your question to mention is that it's not just Neste. You have oil companies here also in the Middle East. I think they also will see the needs and the business case to start producing SAFs here.
As you know, 4 of the world's biggest airlines are in the Middle East. You have Emirates, Etihad, Qatar, and Riyadh Air as well coming. As you know, SAF, 98% of SAF is being produced in the very, very far California in the United States, if I'm not mistaken. Tell me more about introducing more and more SAF. That's what we have been hearing, that California is the hub for SAF mostly, which is very, very far from the Middle East.
Yeah, but it's also not entirely true. The production is going to be in Singapore. I mean, SAF is being transported, shipped to the markets exactly the same way as fossil Jet A1 is, which is by ship. Or by truck, so there's no difference there. It's a drop-in, exactly like fossil. To your first question, we will be supplying Emirates with our SAF at Singapore Airport, at Amsterdam Airport, which incidentally are also home to our refineries.
SAF has been for some time. It's not very new. I remember even other airlines, KLM, more than 10 years ago, all that. Will there be a new generation of SAF? You know, Middle East. In the Middle East, we have been very progressive, especially Emirates Airline, in terms of the forward thinking. Do you foresee, in terms of R&D, a new generation of SAF that would be more affordable?
It will be a new generation of SAF. I really believe that the Middle East will be leading the way because you have solar power here. So you're referring to e-SAFs.
Yes.
That is crucial for the future of aviation. HEFA is one of the pathways, but we need to use all pathways. And I think the Middle East can be a leader in this space. And
do you foresee solid steps in the Middle East, a roadmap to produce that in the Middle East?
That's not my business. You would have to ask the players in the Middle East.
In terms of investments, as you know, basically lots of green investment. Also, there's the SAF Alliance here. How do you foresee the investment and the role that would play for the advancement of SAF across the world and making it cheaper?
Yeah, I think the business case is very strong for investing in SAF. Because SAF is going to be the new normal in aviation, like fossil is now. So there's a very solid business case. To your question on the cost, SAF is never going to be cheaper than fossil. it is 3 to 5 times more expensive. That has to do with the cost of the feedstock. But the costs of doing nothing are going to be much higher. We need to internalize external costs in order to make aviation sustainable. So I think passengers, shippers are willing to pay for the increased cost. But it's the only way forward.
Yeah, in terms of supply chain, the Middle East is also taking food security more seriously. We're seeing His Excellency Abdullah bin Tok, the Minister of Economy of UAE, that he would like very much UAE to be among the world's top food producers. The Netherlands, which is a small country, is among the world's top 4 food producers despite of its size. So do you see that this would allow or affect the supply of SAF?
It will not affect the supply of SAF because there are no food and feed crops in SAF. SAF is made out of waste and residues,
Yes.
animal fat and used cooking oils. Those are the two components.
Yeah.
We will never, and that will not be allowed, it will not be acceptable on a global level to erode that. I think that's a very important point to make.
Yeah. In terms of food waste, do you think that food waste would contribute to SAF, or it's not something that you would consider?
That is for the regulators
Yes.
to decide. I think what's important to understand is that any SAF that will be produced globally has to be sustainable and adhere to the stringent sustainability requirements, which is the case. That could be novel vegetable oils, intermediate crops from degraded land. That all needs to be explored, and then we have a vast potential of feedstocks to cater for demand for aviation to be able to fly sustainably for centuries to come.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.